Thank you, Gargi. I'd like to start by thanking the folks that nominated me, Kathy Schwalis, Tom Krishak, and Najib Fuad. And I'd also like to thank the Fellows Committee who shepherded my nomination through the maze of APA. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my partner, Michael Gillett, for his abundant support and love, as I have sometimes gracefully and sometimes very awkwardly worked close to home. And that's what I'll be talking about today, working close to home. My main area of research is intentional personal growth, and I also study vocational psychology, and it's very difficult to study those things without applying them to one's own life. I also take what I experience in my life and I bring it to bear in my research. And because I'm a counseling psychologist, it extends beyond those narrow areas to pretty much everything we do. That's what I mean by working close to home. Now, sometimes working close to home has very specific, tangible benefits. A number of years ago, I had a therapy client who was going through a divorce. And she had a very specific metaphor for her pain that she experienced. I had the privilege of helping her to find her strength, even in the pain that she was experiencing. Well, several years after I worked with her, I was going through my own divorce. And the metaphor that she had, I found to be very useful in my own life. And I was able to draw on the memories of her strength to remember that I had strength also, even in moments when I sure didn't feel like I had any. Sometimes working close to home also comes when you're not quite expecting it. I was reading about perfectionism in a manuscript that I was reviewing, and it started sounding kind of familiar to me. And so my good friend Susan Kashebeck-West was visiting, and she's a good friend, so she's very supportive of me. We were doing dishes together in my kitchen, and so I turned to her and I said, "So Susan, you think I'm a perfectionist?" And she did not miss a beat, and she said, "Have you met yourself?" So sometimes it comes not when you're expecting it. But much of the time, working close to home is very challenging. Working close to home means that I become more aware of my biases, and it also means I have a chance to work on them. For example, I become very aware of my anti-conservative bias. I live in Lubbock, Texas. It's a community where my liberal political and social views are very clearly the minority, and I am confronted with my biases almost on a daily basis. I've learned that my anti-conservative bias is very harmful and that it's divisive. Not only does it do very little to persuade my politically and socially conservative friends to my point of view, it also alienates them, and it carves a deeper chasm between us. It's only when I really stop to listen to what it is they have to say about the actual issues that I come to understand that they too want to do the right thing, and that they also have a great concern for humanity, just like I do. The sarcasm and the fear that I direct towards them are no different than what I accuse them of directing towards affected groups. Working close to home teaches me about the microaggressions that I direct towards my conservative friends and neighbors, in those very sarcastic jokes, for example. But it also teaches me to live in peace with them and to have respect for them, even when we disagree about important issues. No, it does not mean that I have given up wishing that they all thought the way I think. But if they did, then who would really challenge me? Who would really challenge me and challenge my point of view? Because it's not my liberal friends that are really challenging me these days. And working close to home has also taught me about being careful about groupthink. For me, working close to home is a privilege and responsibility of being a counseling psychologist. It gives me the opportunity to be humble with my students. That includes when my students struggle, acknowledging my own relevant struggles. When my students fail, acknowledging to my students my own relevant failures. and showing them that struggle and failure are normative, and struggle and failure can coincide with future success. Working close to home includes allowing myself to learn from my students. That includes learning about psychology from them, but it also means learning about life and learning about myself from my students. It also means learning from my colleagues, being open to what they have to teach me about psychology, but also what it means to be a good faculty member and to be a good person. It also means having an open mind in my everyday activities. That allows me to take my everyday interactions and my experiences and bring them into the classroom and the research lab to inform my work. Working close to home is really difficult. It also is really rewarding. I learn from it. I am very often humbled by it. But I always grow from it. And hopefully I can help other people grow. As a counseling psychologist, I have both the privilege and the responsibility to work close to home. Thank you.